You know, whenever we talk about the future of the pharmaceutical industry, our minds jump straight to the cool stuff. AI, robots, big data. But what if the biggest challenge, in an industry so full of legacy systems and tight regulations, has nothing to do with the tech itself? Let's get into it, because the real story here, it's about people.
90%. Just let that number sink in for a second. It hangs over almost every big digital project in the pharma world. But it's not what you think.
That's not the success rate, it's the failure rate. That's the sound of amazing technology just sitting on a shelf, of incredible potential just evaporating. This isn't a tech problem at its core, it's a human skills gap. And today we're going to break down how to fix it.
So let's really dig in here and get a feel for how deep this people problem actually goes and what it's really costing the industry.
The scale of this is, well, it's staggering, 70%. We're talking about a huge majority of professionals in the industry who are missing the essential digital skills they need to compete in this new era. That's not just a little gap, that's a giant chasm running right through the workforce.
And this isn't some abstract problem. It has real, painful consequences. Get this, 80% of compliance errors, a massive risk in pharma, are because of poor digital skills. 75% of the productivity gains you should be getting from automation, just gone. And half of all companies flat out say this skill shortage is the main thing holding them back. It's hitting the bottom line, it's affecting safety, and it's slowing everything down.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's a big one. But the good news is, there's a solution. So what does this Pharma 4.0 skill set actually look like?
Everything, and I mean everything, starts right here with digital literacy. Now, this isn't about being a programming genius. It's the fundamentals. Can your team handle electronic documents? Can they use digital communication tools? When you get this foundation right, the success rate for projects literally flips from a 90% chance of failure to a 90% chance of success.
Think of it like this. You can't write a novel if you don't know the alphabet. This stuff, communication platforms, data management, collaboration tools, this is the new alphabet. Without it, none of the really advanced, cool stuff is even possible.
And once you've got that foundation locked in, that's when things get really exciting. A whole new world of capabilities starts to open up.
Okay, check this out. Digital twin technology. Imagine building your entire manufacturing line or a new piece of lab equipment, but as a perfect replica inside a computer. You can run it, test it, even break it 1,000,000 times to find the absolute best way to do things, all with zero real-world cost or risk. I mean, that's the kind of power we're talking about.
And there's a really clear path to get there. It's like climbing a ladder. You start by automating the workflows you already have. Then, you add sensors to monitor everything in real time. With all that new data, you can build AI models to predict what's going to happen next. And finally, you use big data analytics to see the whole picture and make smarter decisions. See? Each step builds on the last.
So we know what skills people need. The next big question is, how do you actually build them? How do you create this digitally savvy workforce on a massive scale? Well, the answer might surprise you. It doesn't start with the employees on the ground floor. It starts at the very top. You can buy all the best software in the world, but if your leaders don't get the vision and can't guide people through the change, those tools are just expensive paperweights.
And there's that 90% number again. This time, it's tied directly to leadership. Leaders today have to be experts in change management and digital strategy. But you know what their most important job is? It's creating a culture where it's okay to try new things, to experiment, and yeah, even to fail sometimes, because that's the only way you learn and adapt.
And for the rest of the workforce, the old way of learning, sitting in a stuffy classroom for a week, it's just too slow. It can't keep up. The technology's just moving way too fast.
I mean, just look at the difference here. Traditional training for a complicated process might take 9 months, but with immersive learning, like putting on a VR headset and practicing in a perfect virtual lab, you can slash that time down to just 2 months. That's not just a small tweak, that is a revolution in training.
And it's not just faster, it's actually better. The data is just incredible. People who train in VR show a 74% boost in their performance and an 87% improvement in accuracy. They're learning by doing, in a perfectly safe, repeatable space. It's a game changer.
Okay, this all leads to the final and maybe most important question. What's the payoff? After all this investment in people and skills, what's the actual return? Is it really worth it? Well, let's start with a number that's sure to get your attention, $95,000.
That's not for a whole team or a whole factory.
That's the average savings per year for every single operator who gets the right digital skills. Think about that. Multiply that across your entire facility. The numbers just become mind-boggling.
But the payoff goes way beyond just saving money on the factory floor. How about this number? 60%.
This is huge. That's how much faster regulatory approvals can be when a company has the digital talent to manage all of its documentation and submissions properly. And the real bottom line here? This is about shortening the time it takes to get life-saving medicines to the patients who desperately need them.
So when you put it all together, what do you really get? It's the whole package. A skilled workforce leads to innovating faster, running more efficiently, and ultimately improving patient safety. It is the absolute foundation of what it means to be a competitive pharma company today.
So, at the end of the day, it all comes back to this. The future isn't a choice between people and technology, it's about fusing the two together. And the real question we all have to ask ourselves is, are we really building the people who are ready to create that future?